Venice is a city in northeastern Italy and the capital of the Veneto region. It is built on a group of 118 small islands that are separated by canals and linked by over 400 bridges. The islands are in the shallow Venetian lagoon, an enclosed bay lying between the mouths of the Po and the Piave rivers, more exactly between the Brenta and the Sire. In 2020, around 258,000 people resided in Greater Venice, or the Comune di Venezia, of whom around 55,000 live in the historical island city of Venice, Centro Storico, and the rest of the mainland. Together with the cities of Padua and Treviso, Venice is included in the Padua-Treviso-Venice metropolitan area, which is considered a statistical metropolitan area with a total population of 2.6 million people. The name is derived from the ancient Veneti, people who inhabited the region by the 10th century BC. The city was historically the capital of the Republic of Venice for over a millennium, from 1697 to 1797. It was a major financial and maritime power during the Middle Ages and Renaissance, and a staging area for the Crusades and the Battle of Lepanto, as well as an important center of commerce, especially silk, grain and spice, and of art from the 13th century to the end of the 17th. The city-state of Venice is considered to have been the first real international financial center, emerging in the 9th century and reaching its greatest prominence in the 14th century. This made Venice a wealthy city throughout most of its history. For centuries, Venice possessed numerous territories along the Adriatic Sea and within the Italian peninsula, leaving a significant impact on the architecture and culture that can still be seen today. The sovereignty of Venice came to an end in 1797 at the hands of Napoleon. Subsequently, in 1866, the city became part of the Kingdom of Italy. Venice has been known as La Dominante, La Serenissima, Queen of the Adriatic, City of Water, City of Mosques, City of Bridges, the Floating City, and City of Canals. The lagoon and the historic parts of the city within the lagoon were inscribed as a UNESCO World Heritage Site in 1987, covering an area of 60,000 hectares. Parts of Venice are renowned for the beauty of their settings, their architecture and artwork. Venice is known for several important artistic movements, especially during the Renaissance period, and has played an important role in the history of instrumental and operatic music, and is the birthplace of Baroque composers Tommaso Albinoni and Antonio Vivaldi. Although the city is facing some challenges, including an excessive number of tourists and problems caused by pollutions, tide peaks and cruise ships sailing too close to buildings, Venice remains a very popular tourist destination, a major cultural center, and has been ranked many times the most beautiful city in the world. Between autumn and early spring, the city is often threatened by flood tides pushing in from the Adriatic. 600 years ago, Venetians protected themselves from land-based attacks by diverting all the major rivers flowing into the lagoon and thus preventing sediment from filling the area around the city. This created an ever deeper lagoon environment. Additionally, the lowest part of Venice, St. Mark's Basilica, is only 64 centimeters, 25-inch above sea level and one of the most flood-prone parts of the city. During the 20th century, when many artesian wells were sunk into the periphery of the lagoon to draw water for local industry, Venice began to subside. It was realized that extraction of water from the aquifer was the cause. The sinking has slowed markedly since artesian wells were banned in the 1960s. However, the city is still threatened by more frequent low-level floods, the acqua alta, that rise to a height of several centimeters over its quays, regularly following certain tides. In many old houses, staircases once used to unload goods are now flooded. Studies indicate that the city continues sinking at a relatively slow rate of 1 to 2 millimeters per annum. Therefore, the state of alert has not been revoked. On November 13, 2019, Venice was flooded when waters peaked at 1.9 meters, the highest tide since 1966. More than 80% of the city was covered by water, which damaged cultural heritage sites, including more than 50 churches, leading to tourists cancelling their visits. The classic Venetian boat is the gondola. Although it is now mostly used for tourists or for weddings, funerals or other ceremonies, or as traghetti to cross the Grand Canal in lieu of a nearby bridge. There are approximately 400 licensed gondoliers in Venice in their distinctive livery and a similar number of boats, down from 10,000 2 centuries ago. At the front of each gondola that works in the city, there is a large piece of metal called the ferro, iron. Its shape has evolved through the centuries, as documented in many well-known paintings. Today, Venice's economy is mainly based on tourism, shipbuilding services, trade, and industrial exports. Murano glass production in Murano Island and lace production in Burano are also highly important to the economy. The city is an important destination for tourists who want to see its celebrated art and architecture. The city hosts up to 60,000 tourists per day. Estimates of the annual number of tourists vary from 22 million to 30 million. This over-tourism creates overcrowding and environmental problems for Venice's ecosystem. There are numerous attractions in Venice, such as St. Mark's Basilica, the Doge's Palace, the Grand Canal, and the Piazza San Marco. The Lido di Venezia is also a popular international luxury destination, attracting thousands of actors, critics, celebrities, and others in the cinematic industry. The city also relies heavily on the cruise business. The Cruise Venice Committee has estimated that cruise ships passengers spend more than 150 million euros annually in the city, according to a 2015 report. The maze of canals threading through the city requires more than 400 bridges to permit the flow of foot traffic. In 2011, the city opened the Ponte della Costituzione, the fourth bridge across the Grand Canal, which connects the Piazzale Roma bus terminal area with the Venezia Santa Lucia railway station. The other bridges are the original Ponte di Rialto, the Ponte dell'Accademia, and the Ponte degli Scalzi. The main means of public transportation consists of motorized water buses, vaporetti, which ply regular routes along the Grand Canal and between the city's islands. Private motorized water taxis are also active. Lido and Pelestrina are two islands forming a barrier between the southern Venetian lagoon and the Adriatic Sea. On those islands, road traffic, including bus service, is allowed. Vaporetti link them with other islands, Venice, Murano, Burano, and with the peninsula of Cavallino Treporti. Venice is serviced by regional and national trains, including trains to Florence, Milan, Turin, Rome, and Naples.
Nivelul apei în Veneția a depășit cotele maxime chiar. Și cu ocazia asta oamenii își dau în petece. Dar atmosfera este absolut superbă. San Marco. E o vreme răcoroasă, dar superbă de altfel. Mamă, ce rând e aici la intrare în palatul ăsta. Și aici este piațeta. Da. Asta ca să înțelegem mai bine Veneția. Deci așa e pe străduțile astea. Madre mia. Au fugit toți de zăpadă.